as the 2-minute warning or the 20-second warning or whatever. Good morning. We'll call the meeting to order. Welcome to the Thursday, November 2025 Subdivision Committee meeting. Looks like we have a quorum on the nose for now. So we'll go ahead and ask for the opening announcements.
Before we begin the agenda, the Wichita-Sedgwick County Metropolitan Area Planning Commission would like to take this opportunity to welcome everyone to this public hearing. Copies of the agenda for today's meeting, the public hearing procedure, and Planning Department staff reports on all agenda items are available on the counter in the lobby. The Planning Commission's bylaws limit the applicant of a subdivision application and his or her representatives to a total of 10 minutes of speaking time at the start of the hearing on that item, plus up to 2 minutes at the conclusion of that hearing. All other persons wishing to speak on agenda items are limited to 3 minutes per person. However, if they feel that it is needed and justified, the commission may extend these times by a majority vote. All speakers are requested to state his or her name and address for the record when beginning to speak. When you are finished speaking, please share your name, address, and the case number on the sheet provided in the room. This will enable staff to notify you if there are any additional proceedings concerning that item. All speakers at the podium, please remove your face mask before speaking into the microphone.
Can we have the roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Bill Johnson is absent. Tony Zimbelman.
Here.
Bob Duell.
Here.
Jocelyn Klantz. Here. Doug High is absent. Leon Mader is absent. John Williams-Bay. Sir, I show four members are present and 3 are absent.
Okay. Commissioner Johnson just walked in. If you want to mark him as present.
Yes, sir.
Okay, our first case we're going to look at today is Subdivision 2025-44. This is a preliminary plat for the Young East Edition, located at the southwest corner of East 29th Street North and North 143rd Street East. It is in the city, and could we have the staff report, please?
Morning, Greg Sharon, planning staff, here to present Young East Edition. If you go to the plat, please. This is one-step final plat for a 252-lot subdivision. It currently is in the county, but the property will be annexed into the city, and requests a zone change from rural residential to SF5 single-family and TF3 two-family residential. There are 3 waivers requested by the applicant. The first waiver is from the requirement to provide a continuation of existing street from existing Quincy Street to the south, which is this connection right here from this cul-de-sac. They are providing just a fire apparatus road and not a complete street connection, so they are requesting a waiver for that. The second waiver is for block length, depth block lengths in excess of 1,300 feet for blocks 1, 5, 7, and 8. Third waiver is lot depth to width ratio for lot 61, block 1, and lots 15 and 17, block 6. And request fourth waiver to allow access streets through reserve strips for reserve H and I. The regulations state reserve strips controlling streets to access the streets shall be prohibited except where their control is placed within the governing body under conditions approved by the Planning Commission, or the platting of reserve strips is provided for by CUP, approved by the Plan Commission, an appropriate governing body. Go through staff comments. Item A, Public Works and Utilities has notes regarding utilities connections, fees that are due, and to request additional easement. Item B, the city stormwater management has received a drainage plan and approved it. Item C, county stormwater management has received the drainage plan and it is under review. I do not have a current update from county stormwater yet. Item D, city fire, gates along the fire apparatus road will require a gate permit submitted to fire, and fire department approves of waiver number 1. Item E, traffic engineering approves of the access controls and right of way. And a note regarding inset parking along Reserve G. Item F, standard health comment regarding irrigation wells. Item G, County Public Works, comments regarding pavement to intersection of 29th Street and auxiliary turn lanes. Item F, just some labels and text revisions. Item I, GIS will need to approve the final street names. And item J, county surveyor comment at the time of final Mylar submission. And item K, Evergy's reviewed the plat and will not need to request additional easements. So for that, I'll stand for questions.
Okay, any questions from the commission members for staff? Okay, advisory board members? Yes, go ahead.
This is Christopher Stone with City Wichita Public Works and Utilities. Item number 8. We received a utility plan. We just need an updated utility plan with planned sewer depths. The sewer's fairly deep on the south side, so we'll need additional easement to cover the depth. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, thank you. Staff, is the applicant or agent available for this? Here we go. State your name and address, and you'll have 10 minutes.
Good morning, Jason Gish, MKEC Engineering, 411 North Webb Road, representing the applicant. We are agreeable with all the staff comments. I would like to have a little more conversation with county on the streets, but I've kind of started that a little bit. Daniel is at the disadvantage of hearing a message or having a message he hadn't heard yet, but there's just some minor things we had some questions on, and we'll work those details out. But it's in regards to items 1 and 2 under county. And one of them is just we want to understand the policy and make sure that I'm still a little confused from the sketch plat, if you will, on if we're working on 143rd within the county or within the city. And so it's just some questions the developer has, and we just want to understand that. So I think we'll have no problem getting that figured out. But I'd stand for any questions.
Okay, have you gone through your waivers with the fire department yet?
So back during the sketch plat, on the waivers, I guess, am I missing something in the responses here? We're doing things that we've done previously, so if there's further conversation that we need to have with City Fire, I'd be glad to entertain that conversation as well.
Okay, maybe I should ask the fire department. I mean, I see where you approved of waiver number 1. How are you with the rest of the waivers, 2, 3, and 4? I guess it would just be number 2. I'm sorry for you.
Yes, Wichita Fire, Jose O'Cady's Wichita Fire Department. Yes, we would approve the waiver number 2 of the excess of 1,300 feet as we normally do.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from the commission members? Yeah, advisory board members?
This is Daniel Schran with Sedgwick County Public Works. So in regards to our items, specifically items number 1 and 2, item number 1 is in regards to paving of 143rd Street. Item 2 is in regards to auxiliary turn lanes on 143rd Street at the entrances. I'm more than willing to talk about that, but the annexation for this is going to include 143rd Street. So all of 143rd Street up to the intersection is going to be annexed by the city of Wichita. So I'm willing to defer to Wichita on those decisions.
Okay, thank you.
And I'll just make an update. I worked with Brian and Linda back on the annexation, and it was actually, the second reading of the ordinance was the end of October. So this land and 143rd is annexed into the city of Wichita at this time.
Okay, appreciate the clarifications.
Okay. Greg may have addressed this, I may not have heard it. What's the situation with the drainage plans at this point? They are at the city. Okay.
Like I said, the city has approved the drainage plan, but county had looked at it. They did receive a drainage plan, and they said it's under review, and I haven't had an updated comment from that, but since this is within the city, or going to be within the city, then the city stormwater would have jurisdiction except for just what's coming off to make sure it's not in the county, but Daniel may have some additional comments.
Yeah, Public Works will review the drainage plan and just to see its impacts on adjacent unincorporated areas. But I'm confident that if the city has already approved this, that our comments will be minor and be able to be addressed before next week's meeting.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone from the public would like to speak on this? Step forward. You'll have 3 minutes. Please state your name and address, please.
Hello, my name's Angela Perner, and I reside at 3156 North 143rd Street East, and I've lived there since 1999. And in 2004, I purchased additional 30 acres adjacent to my property. And then following a watershed study, necessary permissions from the Department of Agriculture, Department of Wildlife Parks, and Department of Army, as well as consent from all of my neighboring property owners, 2 ponds were constructed in 2005 that I hold a certificate of water rights for on the North Pond. It's number 46141. And based on the completed watershed study, the water from the Young East Addition is directed into my pond. And I'm seeking assurances and information confirming that any further construction in that area will not impact my water rights as my pond stands. Additionally, I'm concerned about the lack of planning regarding pedestrian safety in the development of new neighborhoods along 143rd or 29th Street. When the neighborhoods south on 123rd and west of 29th Street were developed, there were no provisions made for sidewalks or road shoulders. I believe it is the responsibility of the developers and not Sedgwick County or its taxpayers to fund those sidewalks and shoulders for new developments to ensure the safety of the residents to access safe sidewalks. Currently, residents frequently walk or bike ride along 143rd or 29th, treating the roads as if they were on the Redbud Trail, despite the fact that one can legally drive 55 miles an hour, which raises significant safety issues. I would also appreciate information on what measures will be implemented by the developer to minimize light pollution associated with the proposed development. Finally, I would also like to see clarification regarding the discrepancy between the notice posted on the property, which states 252 single-family homes, and the information available on your website, which is 393 homes. That nearly doubles the figure indicated for the public notice. And I didn't know how to access the waivers that you guys are all covering, and it sounds like you're going to pave 143rd and 29th Street. And there was also something on irrigation. I guess I don't know how to find out more information on irrigation, because with that many homes going in, that's going to affect my ability to use my well that I use for my 40 acres of pasture. So I think that's it, unless you have any questions for me.
Are there any questions for the speaker? Yeah. County Works.
Sedgwick County Public Works. I heard you mention the paving of 29th Street, and you were expecting that.
And 143rd.
Yes, 29th Street is not going to be paved, or there is no requirement in this to pave 29th Street. Just as an FYI, we have a separate project for the county that we have not even begun on that would pave that. That's well in the future, but this development has no entrances on 29th Street, so there's no requirement to pave 29th.
So just so that community, if you go out on 143rd, it's going to be a mile till you get to a sidewalk, because it's going to be 21st is the closest. And they'll come out of that community and pop down 29th Street, and it's 2 miles to a sidewalk. They never did it when Hawthorne was put in. They didn't put sidewalks on 127th Street. They're not, I don't know if it's included with whatever they're doing with the rest of Gordy Young's property, but there's never any sidewalks. And they put in Firefly down by 29th and Greenwich. Again, no sidewalks, yet everyone pops out of those communities and walks along those sides where there are no shoulders, like literally you'll fall off the road. And so where do the pedestrians go so the cars don't hit them? It's an accident waiting to happen, and I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. And when you add 252 more homes, that's that much more traffic that's going to be going on there. So that's my concern on that. And can someone answer the discrepancy between 252 homes versus 393? Because there seems to be a bigger, the map that I'm looking at that I got from Joe is a lot bigger than that map. That's like half of the development.
I think Philip can help you there.
So, ma'am, yeah, that's a very good question. So the notification talked about creating 252 lots for development. Concurrently, there is a zone change application to be considered, I believe, on December 4th for the very north portion, so this northeast portion of the property, so the southwest portion of 143rd and 29th. That is a zone change that could possibly allow for duplex development, which would have 2 dwellings per 1 lot. That's where some of that discrepancy comes from, is platting 252 lots. Some of those lots, if the zone change goes through, would have 2 dwellings on each lot. So you have a difference between the number of homes or number of dwellings versus the number of lots.
Okay, so on this map, compared to the one that I got from Joe, it does look like there's access to 29th Street as well as 143rd.
So this plat that we're seeing today is a portion of a larger development that will at some point include property to the west of it. They're doing it in phases.
Okay, so they will access the road on 29th, so it does need sidewalks in my opinion.
At
Thank
some
you.
point, this current development is only this portion, which has no points of access. A future plat to the west will have an access point to 29th Street.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions for the speaker? Next speaker, please. Please state your name and address. You'll have 3 minutes.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Gear. My address is 14818 East 29th Street North. So to put that into perspective, I'm 3 houses to the east of this property. I've lived there for 30 years. I am concerned mostly about the drainage and the runoff. My land is the low spot of the area, so I get all of the water the vast majority of water that runs off of neighboring acreages. The entire east side of my property is in the flood zone. So when it rains, it fills up my creek and my pond, and then it runs, when my pond is full, it runs over to Angela's property and fills her ponds. I am equally concerned about too much water being directed my way or too little water being taken away to fill up my, my property. I'm also concerned about the groundwater. 2 years ago, my well dried up, and I use that for a garden that feeds my family. And I know that there's livestock in the area that uses well water to water their animals. I know that neighborhoods want their entrances to look really nice. I would ask that they don't use our groundwater for that. Maybe they could use city water instead, and that the residents in that development don't have the ability to get a permit for wells, that they must use city water, because that is taking away from our agriculture and our livestock out there. The water is my main concern. When it rained earlier in the year, all that flooding that happened nearly came into my home, which was kind of unprecedented. But with that entire acreage of Gordy's being developed, I am very concerned that the water won't soak in. Instead, it's going to run off that pavement somewhere. And I just don't want too much of it directed, but I also want to keep what I have. So I don't know if you guys can tell me more about the drainage and what your expectations are of where that water will go.
Okay, I appreciate your comments. It's, as you heard before, the drainage plans have been submitted. I don't think they've been finalized or approved yet. So right now, I don't know that we have an answer to your drainage
I
question.
don't know
Yes.
that anybody's done surveys to know what goes on east of that property. And I know our township fights with the other township of who takes care of the roads and who manages the ditches. And there's, I get all the, if you're not planning on paving some of those roads or what have you, I get all of the road material that gets pushed down the way from rainwater. It all ends up in my ditch and down my creek and pond and fills it up.
I think we have a question from Commissioner Johnson.
All right. At staff, could they explain about how the runoff and how it affects her property?
Yes, sir. I'm going to look to City Public Works since it sounds like the drainage plan was reviewed. Joe, do you have any overviews of where the drainage goes on this property and where it would flow into?
Yeah, Joe Hickle, City Stormwater. Flows from the east part of the development, cross by pipe underneath 143rd, and flow into the natural ditch systems that exist right now. And that water continues through a series of ponds down to the floodplain to the north. So that's just the natural drainage pattern. We can take a look at comments that have been offered this morning and get with the developer's engineer and to report back.
Which that flood zone is on my property. Those ditches are my ditches. That's where all of the water will be, is on my property. So that's my biggest concern, is I don't want my home to be affected by a development. I don't want my quality of life or my money going towards trying to remediate water off of my property that's being directed towards me.
Okay, thank you for being here. Thank you for comments. Any other speakers? Going once? Going twice? Okay, we'll close the public speakers portion of it. The agent will now have 2 minutes for rebuttal on this.
I'd be glad to answer any questions now or just directly after this, but your questions, I think related to the stormwater drainage from our site. This property, as you're aware, sits at the top of a hill, and it actually has several watersheds that leave in different, some go to the north, some go to the east. And so we will follow the guidelines that the city has, and basically they regulate small storms all the way up to the largest storms. So I think 2-year all the way to 100 years. So we have kind of a staged detention so that what we can tell you is the water that leaves the site in each of those storms, pre-development, like today, that will be unchanged in the future. So that's the requirement that the city puts in place to make sure that citizens such as yourself that may be on the fringes of these developments aren't impacted negatively. I know I heard some questions about light pollution and things like that. There will be streetlights, and you know what development looks like on your way home. It is closer, but we're following the rules of what's required there. Sidewalks, streets, things like that. I think you heard from county that the developer would be working with the city of Wichita on what those improvements and the requirements would be per their regulatory subdivision regulations. As far as wells and things like that, I would just tell you that we would have to follow the same rules as anybody else. I don't know that my experience on this, near this part of town, is wells for consistent irrigation use are a little bit temperamental. So that's just my own personal perspective. If I missed any, I apologize, but I hope I covered the bigger items there, and I'd be glad to talk to you afterwards if you have further concerns. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I guess that brings it back to the commission
Move approval per staff comments
and the waivers too.
and the waivers.
Okay,
Second.
okay. We have a motion and a second to approve this per staff comments and the waivers. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It'll pass. The motion was made by Commissioner Duell and seconded by Commissioner Johnson. It was 5-0, yeah. To the people that showed up, I'm sure he would be glad to meet you out there and talk about this. And this has to go before the Planning Commission also, before it's actually approved. So you might be able to straighten out some of these questions you have before that, which is next week on a Thursday, so.
Planning Commission is
Unless-
actually December 4th. Next Thursday's Thanksgiving. You're
That's right.
welcome to come here,
December
but you're not
4th.
going to get any turkey.
Sorry, you even have more
Yes.
time to figure it out.
Planning Commission is December 4th in this room at 1:30 in the afternoon.
And thank you all for being here today. Appreciate it. Our next plat is subdivision 2025-59, one-step final plat for Northgate 7th Edition, located a quarter-mile west of North Meridian Avenue and a half-mile north of West 53rd Street North. It's in the city. Can we have the staff report, please?
Morning, Greg Sharon, planning staff, here to present Northgate 7th Edition. If you go to the plat, please. This is subdivision for a one-lot residential and a reserve. This is a replat of the Northgate, should be 5th edition instead of 7th, sorry. So basically, they're just replatting this lot right here was a reserve in the original plat. They're just replatting that into a lot. And then this proposed reserved was 2 lots in the original plat, and they are just replatting those 2 lots into a reserve. There are no waivers requested. Staff comments, Public Works, comments regarding fees. Item B, City Stormwater Management approves the plat. Item C, standard comment regarding hydrants. Item D, traffic engineering, no comments. Item E, standard comment regarding irrigation wells. Item F, planning, just a couple of platters text changes. Item G, county surveying to comment at the time of the final Mylar submittal. And item H, ever G, will not need to request additional easements. And with that, I would stand for questions.
Any questions for staff? Advisory board members, questions? Okay.
Christopher Stone with City of Wichita Public Works and Utilities. So if so we have public water and sewer here already. If the specials can't be respread, or we kind of talked a little bit over the email with Chris Boffman a little bit before, but if they can't be respread, the lot 1, Block A will owe in lieu of assessments for water and sewer.
Okay. Applicant or agent will come forward. Do you have 10 minutes? Please state your name and address.
Chris Rose with Boffin Company, 315 Ellis, Wichita, Kansas 67211. Agent for the applicant, or did I already say that? Sorry. We agree with staff comments and agree with the comments that Chris just made, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Okay. Any questions for the agent? From commission members? Any comments from the advisory board members? Looks like you got through.
All right, thank you.
Is anyone from the public would like
And
to?
no waivers this time. This is probably the first plat that I've had in a while.
Is there anyone from the public who would like to speak this? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to commission.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve for staff comments.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Johnson, a second by Commissioner Clouts. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. Well, that concludes our plats for the morning, and we will go into the vacation items. We will note that agenda item number 4 was deferred to December 11th, 2025 subdivision meeting. Our first vacation case is 2025-48. Vacation request in the city to vacate a portion of complete access control to allow for a 40-foot opening for residential development on property zoned LC. It's located on the west side of Julia Street and within 1 block north of West Taft Avenue. Can we have the staff report, please?
Good morning, Samuel Dietz, presenting planner. Vacation 2025-00048 is a request to vacate a portion of platted complete access control. This would permit one full movement drive onto South Julia Street on the east side of Lot 1 of the Ernest Jordan addition. The proposed drive would be 40 feet wide. When platted, the east line of Lot 1 restricted access control except for one entrance, and the west side of the lot did not allow any access drives. However, a subsequent lot split resulted in the property to the south, the newly created lot utilizing that one access drive off South Julia. Therefore, the subject property does not have any available access from either South Julia or South Brummett Street. If approved, the access drive would be approximately 120 feet south of an existing drive, 188 feet south of a street intersection, and 485 feet north of a street intersection with Taft Avenue. Public Works and Utilities, Fire, Traffic Engineering, and Stormwater do not object, nor do Kansas Gas or Evergy. Cox has no objection, but note that they do have buried lines in the vacation area. With that, I will stand for any questions.
Right. Any questions for staff from the commission members, advisory board members? Any comments? Okay, thank you. We'll call the applicant or agent forward. You'll have 10 minutes. Please state your name and address.
Kirk Miller, K.E. Miller Engineering, 117 East Lewis. I'm the agent. This was originally platted as one lot, and it was a commercial lot, zone commercial. So apparently there must have been some reason they only allowed one access point, but It is all, as you can see, it's all developed into residential, and this will just be another residential with 4 structures in this remaining parcel, as you can see in the staff report. So we're just asking for one more vacation case. This is not an arterial street or anything. And the report says that traffic doesn't have a problem with it. So be glad to answer any questions.
Okay. Questions for the agent? Comments from the advisory board? Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone from the public like to speak on this? If not, I'll make a motion that we approve this per staff comments.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Zimbelman, a second by Commissioner Williams-Bay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Let me get to our next case here. Vacation 2025-49 is a vacation request in the county to vacate platter's text on property zoned rural residential. It's generally located east of North Mays Road and 2,000 feet north of West 53rd Street North. Can we have the staff report, please?
Samuel Dietz, presenting planner. Vacation 2025-00049 is a request to vacate platter's text to remove the requirement for a letter of map provision based on fill for areas which are not located within a FEMA designated floodplain. This is within the Herndon edition in the county. The existing platter's text requires a letter of map revision prior to the issuance of any building permit, regardless of location. The revised platter's text would provide an exemption to that for areas that are outside the floodplain. All easements and floodway reserves will remain and are not affected by the vacation request. Public Works does not object. Sedgwick County Fire did not provide comments. Franchise utilities do not have any objections. With that, I will stand for any questions.
Okay. Questions from staff? From the commission members? Comments from the advisory board? Okay, thank you, Sam. We'll have the applicant or agent. It looks like the agent. Please state your name and address. You'll have 10 minutes.
All right, good morning. Logan Mills with Certified Engineering Design, 1935 West Maple. We're in agreement with staff comments, and I'll stand for any questions.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for the agent? Thank you. Anyone from the public like to speak on this case? Seeing none, bring it back to the commission for action.
I'll make a motion to approve per staff comment.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Klontz, second by Commissioner Johnson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. Our next case. The vacation 2025-50. This is a vacation request in the city of a 30-foot utility easement generally located on the northeast corner of North Greenwich Road and East 29th Street North. We have a staff report, please.
Good morning, Samuel Dietz, presenting planner. Vacation 2025-00050 is a request to vacate a plaid utility easement running across lots 1, 2, and 3, Block A of the 29th and Greenwich Edition. The site is generally located at the northeast corner of East 29th Street North and North Greenwich. The site is zoned LC Limited Commercial with CUP DP-359 and is undeveloped. The utility easement is not identified in the CUP drawing, so no adjustment to the CUP will be necessary. The purpose of the vacation is to replace the current easement with an alternate easement to match the lot reconfiguration that took place in lot split 2025-00023 and CUP 2025-00035. No additional easements, public water sewer lines on the property will be affected by the request. Public Works and Utilities, Fire, Stormwater, Traffic Engineering do not object, nor are there any objections from the franchise utilities. With that, I'll stand for any questions.
Okay. Questions from their staff, from commission members? Seeing none, advisory board members? Okay. Agent, please come forward, name and address, and you'll have 10 minutes.
Kim Edgington, PSC Consulting.
You'll need to lower the microphone.
You always remind me how short I am. Thank you. Kim Edgington, PSC Consulting, 2532 North Cardinal Drive, Wichita, Kansas. We are in agreement with all of staff comments, and I stand for any questions.
Okay. Questions for the agent from commission members? Seeing none. Advisory committee? Thank you, agent. Is anyone from the public would like to speak on this? I'll bring it back to the commission.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve per staff comments.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Johnson, a second by Commissioner Williams-Bay. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Our last item today is vacation 2025-51. Vacation request in the city of a portion of a joint access easement and a portion of a wall easement, generally located east along North Greenwich Road and 1,000 feet south of East Central Avenue. Can we have the staff report, please?
Samuel Dietz, presenting planner. Vacation 2025-00051. There's a request to vacate portions of a joint access easement which runs between Lot 6 and 7, and a portion of a wall easement on the south side of Lot 7, Block 1 of the Canyon Properties Edition. The site is generally located east of along North Greenwich Road and 1,000 feet south of East Central Avenue. Property is zoned LC Limited Commercial with CUP DP-229 and is undeveloped. CUP amendment, CUP 2025-00025 was approved on October 7th. In that case, removed the joint access easement from the CUP drawing and adjusted the parcel boundaries. The purpose of the vacation is to allow for site development on the property consistent with the approved CUP amendment. No additional easements, public water or sewer lines on the property will be affected by the request. Public Works and Utilities, Fire, Traffic Engineering, and Stormwater do not object, nor do Kansas Gas or Evergy. Cox has no objection, but does have aerial lines in the vacation area. With that, I'll stand for any questions.
All right. Commission members have any questions? Nope. Advisory board comments? Okay, thank you. You'll have 10 minutes. Please state your name and address.
Chris Rose with Bofton Company, agent for the applicant, 315 Ellis, Wichita, Kansas, 67211. The applicant agrees with staff comments.
Okay.
And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions or comments for the agent? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone from the public like to speak on this? Okay, bring it back to the commission members.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve per staff comments.
I'll second that. We have a motion by Commissioner Williams-Bay, a second by Commissioner Zimbelman. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Any other business we need to talk about, staff?
Sir, I think we still have a couple items, which are the consent agenda and the checklist. I think what we can do is we can work on making sure that we get a printed copy of that subdivision checklist in your next packet. Hopefully that will be helpful so you can look over it and see if that's something that you think is a good fit for the community and works well.
Yep. Any other comments, questions for anyone? We're adjourned. Thank you for being here.